Inspired community. This is referring to the stories of the countless communities which have poured into my life and helped me shape my personal and professional aspirations, and therefore creating my personal brand, which is to inspire community through the world of sports. My name is Lizzy Pintarich, and I'm studying public relations with an emphasis in entertainment and events. In order for you to really understand how sports have played such an influential role in my life, I've created a little timeline for you. My love for sports didn't really start out as a mutually loving relationship when my dad actually forced me to do Taekwondo with him. Little 6-year-old Lizzy had no idea what she was doing, but by the time she was 8 years old, as you can see in this photo, we got our first degree black belts together. Over the course of 8 years of doing martial arts, I learned so much about what it meant to be a leader and shape my personal leadership skills and assets. And I also learned what it meant to communicate to different audiences when I had the opportunity to teach weekly classes to people of different ages, different backgrounds, and different ranks. But transitioning out of Taekwondo and heading into high school, where I competed in 12 different seasons of sports, I ran cross country in the fall, played basketball in the winter, and then ran track in the spring. I was all over the place. And even though basketball truly is probably my favorite sport, you can catch me talking about it pretty much every day of the week. Running is where I found my true community and family of teammates who are so life-giving to me, and I think will be lifelong lasting relationships to come. And that's kind of the same experience I acknowledged when I transitioned into running track and cross country here at Biola for a few seasons. But transitioning out of being the athlete, I really want to work in the world of sports, and so some of the different internships that have helped me move in that direction begin with my dear friend Fast Freddie. Freddie Rodriguez is a former professional cyclist who raced in on the U.S. Olympic team back in his day, and he's also a 4-time national road race champion and has his own nonprofit where he teaches life skills through cycling to kids back in the Bay Area, which is home for me. He really helped dip my feet into the world of bridging the gap between sports and an athlete and how they give back to their community. This summer, I had a different opportunity to coach some of my first very own basketball teams, and I had so much fun and really saw my soul just come to life when I was coaching girls a game that I love. Seeing their character develop and seeing their skill sets develop is so life-giving to me, and I had such a blast. I also was a part of my second internship this summer where I worked for my high school and saw more of the sports event planning side of things, where I tried to launch a community outreach department for the school where athletes can participate in volunteering with nonprofits. It didn't exactly come to fruition as we would have hoped, but I'm hoping for the future that they'll have many events to come. Another internship I'm in as of this semester is with the Biola Athletics Department, where now I'm focusing more on the sports marketing side of things. And actually my sole focus has been to give attention to the cross country team who's at their national championships today in Missouri. You should check out how they do. And I've been working on their social media advertising along with writing their race recaps and how their season's been going thus far. So as you can see, from being the athlete to teaching, coaching, and working in the world of sports, it has been a powerful timeline for me. But you might be asking yourself, how do I inspire community as a professional in the world of sports? Is there a name for that? And yes, there is. It's not exactly public relations, but it's what they call community relations, CR, and it's a branch of PR. What it is I think this source puts it very well, and by the way, all my references are at the end of these slides if you'd like to take a look. And what they say about it is that CR is the food for soul for an organization. It's a fundamental ingredient in creating the health of an enterprise because it's what focuses the organization's attention on giving back to the community rather than just selling a product. They also are noticing that CR is becoming a core business strategy in many American organizations today. And they're seeing that it's not only helping attract and retain top employees and employers, but it's also helping them increasingly move their position in the market. So in summary, just as you would go to your regular store to pick out a product or to attend an event, that's your #1 supplier of choice. Maybe it's Target versus Walmart. Community relations is all about being your #1 neighbor of choice, who you're partnering with and when you want to give back to the community. Something else you need to know about CR is that it's constantly growing. And actually, surveys show that more higher up roles in organizations such as the chief executives and senior VPs of businesses are recognizing how important CR is in developing their companies. And with that, they're also increasing their budget for those departments specifically. But statistics and information aside, I want you guys really to grasp the heart of what CR is all about. And I think Psalm 27:17 really summarizes that well, in this analogy of how iron sharpens iron. Whether or not you've participated in sports like I did, I'm pretty positive that each and every one of you can say there's been at least one individual or one group, if not multiple groups, who have sharpened your iron and helped you develop as a character and as your person, and helped shape where you're supposed to be going next. And this is what community relations and inspiring community is all about. This leads into my personal definition of PR, which I believe is the art of ethically inspiring people by crafting a cherished and active bond between an organization and their followers. Transitioning out of the information about PR, I want to give, CR, I want to give you kind of a practical application of what CR looks like in the real world. So taking a look at some different course work that I've done throughout my time here at Biola. As you can see, I'm a sports girl and have constantly focused on different organizations involved in sports. But I believe that there's one which has exceedingly done an excellent job in giving back to their community, and that's NBA Cares. NBA Cares is the official community outreach department of the NBA, and they do a wonderful job of giving back to their community. In order to give you a visual of what they're all about, here's a quick video.
Cares does a great job of bridging the gap between the players and the community. It was amazing to come out here somewhere we've never been before to impact the lives of some of the different people, to share the game, share our love for the game with everybody else. This is what basketball is all about. You see kids here just trying to learn, trying to get better, just excited about the game. That's what makes us excited to give us more energy to play.
We have, on behalf of myself, my teammates, and the Golden State Warriors organization, we want to thank everybody for inviting us here to Shanghai, Shenzhen, and China for the global game this year. It's amazing how basketball can bring so many different people together and share the love of the game. And we're honored to spend some time with you guys for the Special Olympics. And we look forward to your support all year long in the NBA. Thank you very much.
So I know that was only one presentation of what NBA Cares is all about, but I think the quote that Kevin Durant said in the beginning, who's a forward for the Golden State Warriors, is that NBA Cares, and I think we could say community relations in general, does a great job of bridging the gap between players and their community. Kevin Durant, just to give you a little context, like I said, he plays for the Golden State Warriors, but he also was the 2017-18 season winner of the NBA Cares Community Assist Award, which is, I think, a really cool thing that NBA does is not only do they award their MVPs and the top teams in the league, but they also award those individual players who they think are going above and beyond in giving back to their community. This is bridging that gap and creating that active sports community bond that I've been talking about all this time. And the power of influence on that sports gives to people is so credible. In fact, take a look at what ABC News did in a survey where kids actually ranked famous athletes among the most inspired people in their lives, secondary only to their parents, which is a very valid secondary position to take. And 9 out of those 10 kids said that famous athletes teach children mostly good things. To be able to work in a world which bridges that gap and inspires kids, whether it's encouraging them to be more fit or to be environmentally friendly or to just be a better person, I think as a Christian or a non-Christian is so important. And it's where my passion and what keeps me up at night is all my dreams coming to fruition. So you might be wondering, how am I, Lizzy, supposed to bridge this gap personally? And I think I'm going to have to get a little bit more schooling under my belt before I do so. After I graduate here from Biola, I'm hoping to get my graduate master's in sports management. But I want you guys to not focus so much on what I'm doing with my future in inspiring community, and I want you to ask yourselves, how are you inspiring community? Who's inspired your world? What communities have come alongside you to help shape you and mold you into the person that you're supposed to become, living into the vocation that God is calling you to? whether or not I fully live up to the vocation of working in sports, which I do think God is calling me to, I can see that the timeline and different valuable moments that the world of athletics has had on me is so influential, and that mindset of being an athlete in whatever I do, being hardworking, being an encouraging teammate, being persistent and persevering through trials is going to carry with me in whatever endeavors I face. So thank you so much for your time and for listening, and I'd be happy to take any questions that you have as of now.